Welcome to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati Spine Procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Now here along with Dr. Bonati, your host, Kimberly Brumell.
Thank you for listening to American Medicine Today, brought to you by the Bonati Spine Institute. I'm Kimberly Brumell, joined by Ethan Euchre, our executive producer of the radio program.
Here as always. Glad to be here.
And to my right, I have our senior fellow, Jeff Wagstaff.
What's going on?
Accounted for?
With his mic off.
Good morning.
How you doing, fellow? It's not the morning, by the way, but it's all
And
good.
across from me, I have esteemed, renowned orthopedic surgeon, and that's world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati. Thank you for being here, sir.
I like this theme.
Well, you know, I try to say week after week why it is people need to pay attention to this man, because he changed spine surgery forever. And it's really no laughing matter. There are so many other entities out there. We like to call them imitators. And they try to ride on coattails, and they claim leadership, but you don't really lead by being dragged along the way. So one of the statements I would like to make is Bonati innovates. He never imitates. And we have a 7.5-year recent study of patient satisfaction, and we're talking about true patient resolve, 98.75%. No one else can say that. I also came upon shady statistics, but I don't know that I need to get into that here, but just weird math. What do they call that?
New math.
Oh,
New math, yes.
Fuzzy math.
Fuzzy
That's what it's
math.
called,
But
yeah.
maybe we can mention that later.
Math. Obama math.
Exactly.
Obama math.
But to get back to the point, Dr. Bonati was trained in traditional open back surgery, and along the way he became disheartened with the results because people weren't gaining the help that they needed. So he set out on a path, and he broke that mold. He was an innovator from the first moment, and he devised his own instrumentation and his own procedures called the Bonati Spine Procedures, and those are the ones to ask for. And just remember, you only get Bonati at Bonati, and Bonati succeeds where others failed. Now, with that said, we have some really exciting guests on today's program.
It's going to be a good one, for sure.
Yeah, Jason Mattera, conservative journalist and author of Crapitalism, Liberals Who Make Millions Swiping Your Tax Dollars.
If people aren't familiar with Jason Mattera, this guy's fantastic.
Yes, he is.
He's young. He's aggressive. He grew up in New York City, which is something I want to get into because I lived up there for a bit, and there are no conservatives up there, so that had to have been tough. But
Yeah.
he's the guy that goes out with a camera and sort of ambushes these. I mean, he's gotten Hillary Clinton,
Yeah.
Harry Reid. He had
Nancy Pelosi.
Recently. He had a complaint lodged against him from VP Biden. I mean, this guy, and he's fearless.
They even said he was like pushed up against the wall the one time, and he said, "Hey, I'm a reporter," and the person wouldn't give him their name because I guess they were kind of afraid he might talk about it more.
Well, one of the first ones he ever did was Chris Rock.
Yeah.
At like the Cannes Film Festival, and he asked him about a remark that Chris Rock made about the Tea Party, and Rock went after his cameraman, and it was a whole melee. So it's going to be good. I'm
I
excited.
think it's funny. They can all cast the stones from that side, but God forbid somebody does it back. They can't handle it, and they cry like babies. With that said, we have Dominic Maglio, and he's a certified psychotherapist and neo-traditionalist and author of several books, including Invasion Within, Overcoming the Elitist Attack on Moral Values in the American Way. So we'll have him, and then, of course, we'll follow that by what's new in American medicine today. But up first...
In today's Back to Life segment, we will talk to a patient of the Bonati Spine Institute who went from living a life that was restricted by pain and discomfort through their journey of finding the Bonati Spine Institute and are now living pain-free.
Well, it is my pleasure to introduce Mindy. She lives in New Jersey, and she's on the line with us. Thank you for being here.
No problem.
Well, why don't you kind of start with what the pain was that you felt? What was wrong with you? And then how that was kind of affecting your life or your daily activities, and then how you found your way to the Bonati Spine Institute.
We should set the stage first, too, by saying that Mindy is quite the young lady.
She is.
Correct? She's not middle-aged or even elderly.
No.
You're still in your 20s, correct, Mindy?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I just turned 29. So
Wow.
barely.
Happy birthday.
I am. Thank you.
All right, yeah, so why don't you start from the beginning? How did such a young lady start experiencing pain that required surgery?
I woke up one day and my armpit was the size of probably like a softball. It was huge. It was swollen. So I decided to go to a doctor, and I saw an orthopedic surgeon, and nobody could figure out what was wrong with me. I had lots of MRIs, lots of x-rays, kept sending me to PT, put me in a sling for like 6 months. But basically my pain went from the center of my back all the way down my arm, through my elbow, and then my last three fingers would go completely numb. It got to the point where I couldn't even hold like a pen in my hand without it dropping.
Unbelievable.
But I went to many, many doctors. It was really, really frustrating because nobody could diagnose me with anything. And I even saw some specialists in New York City, and they weren't able to help. I had lots of cortisone shots and epidural shots and anything you can imagine. It got to the point where I wasn't able to do my activities. I'm a serious ballet student growing up. I wasn't able to dance. Even just going out to dinner was beyond painful. And so my mom actually heard about the Bonati Spine Institute from a friend of hers, and so I decided to call, and that's where it all began.
It's quite interesting from my perspective that Mindy lives in New Jersey, goes to New York City, the #1 market in the country, you know, destination, global destination. You would think they would have some of the greatest specialists in medicine known to man, and those people told her that they couldn't help her. That's incredible to me. So what happened? So you got in touch with the Bonati Spine Institute, Mindy?
So I called, and I was told that I spoke to a very, very nice lady. I don't know what her name was, but unbelievably nice. And I sent, she mentioned that I could send all my MRIs and my x-rays down, and they would look at them and tell me if they were able to help me. So that's what I did. And I think very quickly I got an answer back and saying that they could. And next thing I knew, I scheduled a time to come down there, and I had surgery in a few days after that, and yeah.
Let's slow down for just a second. When you arrived, were you at all anxious upon arrival?
I was very anxious.
Okay.
I was very nervous, not only because I didn't know what to expect, and it was a new place, but I was away from home. I was kind of worried to have surgery somewhere else, that I couldn't go home at night to my bed. But I just, I've been to so many doctors. I think I had 13 MRIs and x-rays altogether before I even came to Bonati.
Wow.
So it was kind of at the point where I didn't think anybody would be able to help me, even though they said they could.
Right.
I was kind of very optimistic,
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were 24 years old when this happened.
Yes. Yes.
That's amazing. And so what did some of these other specialists, you said you had 13 MRIs done, what did they tell you? Some of them said they couldn't do anything, and then what did others say the treatment options were?
Originally, they told me that I had brachial plexitis, I guess.
Sounds like a dinosaur.
So then they sent me to physical therapy, which did nothing but hurt it more.
Okay.
So then they kind of didn't know what to do with me. I had a bunch of nerve tests done, and they basically said, if I had something wrong with my nerves, then it would show up on there. Nothing showed up. Then they gave me a whole bunch of pain meds. Anyway, so yeah, it was just. And then some just said they couldn't help me. I went to a spinal surgeon in the city, and they said that I would need the surgery, but I was too young for the surgery. That I would probably have to have a spinal fusion in a few years. Wow. So that was devastating because he was telling me that he could help me, but I was too young, so I didn't. And basically sent me home.
Right.
Mindy, for folks at home that are listening, driving in their car all across the fruited plains, if they run into, when you go to the doctor, there's always some anxiety when you're trying to find out what's wrong. What was the difference, if there was any, at the Bonati Institute versus those other doctors that you saw?
I think from the moment I walked into Bonati, I was basically relieved. There was just like a calm. Like I didn't feel anxious. Everything was very well put together and organized. I was able to speak to the doctor, whenever I needed to, basically. I was very aware of what was, needed to happen, what I needed to do to make myself feel better. Just every aspect of it was, a really great experience.
So, Mindy, once you actually were sort of diagnosed they knew what was wrong by looking at your MRIs, they told you what they were going to do, you're on the table. Walk us through the actual procedure. Were you able to watch? Because it's conscious IV sedation. You're awake, you're alert, you're aware during the procedure, but pain-free at the same time, so you can converse with the doctor and pinpoint what's wrong with you. Did you watch on the big screen while the procedure was being done?
I'm going to be completely honest. Yes, I did watch, but I don't remember. I know I was really freaked out beforehand, so I think they gave me some stuff to calm my anxiety. So apparently I had some in-depth conversation with Dr. Grossmith. I don't remember what it was about.
Oh, boy.
But so I was awake and I did watch, and
yes.
Apparently I remembered it, right after, but I don't have any recollection of it, which is fine.
We didn't record your conversation, so we enjoy it after.
That's Dr. Bonati chiming in.
Mindy, did you have a
Only
single?
imagine.
Did you have a single procedure done at the institute?
I had, well, I guess it would technically be 3. I had my first surgery the first time, and then I came down for another one. But this is what I really liked. I came down for my scheduled second one, and then I saw Dr. Gersmith the first day I was there, and he basically said that that wasn't the procedure that needed to be done, so they didn't do it. That they wanted to do some kind of an injection. I don't remember exactly what it was. First, so I had the injection first, and then they did a completely different surgery than they planned on doing. So it was really comforting to me to know that they weren't going to just send me in there because that's what was scheduled, you know, without seeing me and talking to me first and knowing what not needed to be done. So,
Mindy, now that you've had those procedures, you've returned home. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I don't have any of the pain anymore. I'm able to go to, do anything from dancing again to going out to dinner to running to working out without being in pain at all. So it's really incredible. I didn't think I'd ever get to this point.
Hey, Mindy, we have Dr. Bonati here. If there's anything you know.
I'd like to clarify something about Wendy. What she had is the type of symptoms that she presented was the reflex sympathetic dystrophy. So that's why her arm was swelling. That's why she has some burning, and that's why she has all this pain. Reflex sympathetic dystrophy is something that people get totally, completely messed up. And at the same time, they start to do blocks, and they start to do injections, and the thing doesn't work. What really it is a compression syndrome of one of the roots, and that's what she had. That's why the results are okay.
All right. Well, Mindy, I'm assuming that you would refer the Bonati Spine Institute to other people that were experiencing pain like yours?
Absolutely. I would recommend it to anybody. It was a great place to go to. Everybody was unbelievably nice, and I'm fixed, so that's the most important thing.
Well, we're glad you can go out there and enjoy your youth, Mindy.
Thank you, Mindy.
And continued good health. Thank you for sharing your story with us.
Take care, Mindy.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Bye.
You're listening to American Medicine Today. If you or someone you know is suffering with neck, back, or sciatic pain, they can reach out to the Bonati Spine Institute at 855-267-0483 or visit the website at bonati.com. Coming up after the break, we are going to have Jason Mattera, that conservative journalist and author of Crapitalism. You'll hear more coming up after the break. Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati Spine Procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati Spine Procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years, and it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results, no pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone, nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now, I can garden, I can cook, and I'm really thrilled. The outcome has been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati Spine Procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati Spine Procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati Spine Procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Vermel.
Thanks for listening to American Medicine Today. I'm here with Ethan Euchre, and we have world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. Alfred Bonati of the Bonati Spine Institute.
Hello.
Excited about this guest here.
Oh, yes, we have Jason Mattera, fearless young conservative journalist and New York Times bestselling author of Crapitalism, Liberals Who Make Millions Swiping Your Tax Dollars. And other books, this one's actually my favorite, Obama Zombies, How the Liberal Machine Brainwashed My Generation, as well as Hollywood Hypocrites.
That was actually his first book. Welcome to the show, Jason. How are you?
Hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate being on.
Oh, welcome, man.
Well, if people who aren't familiar with Jason, he famously, he's sort of an ambush journalist.
Right.
He usually has a camera with him. He goes out, he ambushed Hillary Clinton with the autograph, which was probably my favorite one. He walk us through that one for people that haven't heard about that little shenanigan, Jason.
You want me to walk you through it?
Yes, please.
Tell us what happened.
Oh, okay. Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, beat reporters all the time, local media are always constantly trying to get up to corrupt bureaucrats and politicians who will look to evade media or only engage in friendly interviews. And unfortunately, the D.C. media doesn't do that. They are pathetic. So everyone in D.C. is looking to coronate rather than confront Hillary. So I did not do that. We caught up to her at a book event and asked her to make out her book, Hard Choices, but to inscribe it with a twist to Christopher Stevens, which was the ambassador who was killed, murdered under her watch, and who pleaded for security multiple times and wasn't given it on the anniversary of 9/11 out of all times. So we asked her as she balked at the request. And,
Genius.
And then we drew the contrast that she had more security at a book event in Washington, D.C., and Christopher Stevens and the ambassador, in a hotbed terrorist zone had on the anniversary of 9/11. And, the video had blew up online, and rightfully so, because people want to see Hillary confronted on them, and many of these infractions she participated in while Secretary of State.
I wish you could get in front of Obama, but Dr. Bonati looks like he wants to ask you a question.
No. I'm just excited with what you are saying. I mean, keep telling us. Then after you talk to her, what happened?
Oh, well, when we asked her to inscribe it to Christopher Stevens, she balked and said, "I won't." And I won't sign it to Chris. And I said, "Why? What difference does it make?" And that goes back to her infamous Senate testimony in front of the Foreign Relations Committee, where she said, "Well, what difference does it make if Benghazi was the result of a YouTube video or if it was the result of a planned coordinated terrorist attack?" Well, obviously, it's a big difference, but she tried to dismiss it with that flippant phrase that's stuck with her, at least.
And shows a difference for all the families of these individuals that were killed.
Correct.
Hey, Jason.
Yeah, I know.
I love your analogy
ahead,
that Hillary Clinton had more security at a book signing than our embassy had when it was under siege.
That wasn't an analogy. That's truth.
That's truth, yes.
It's sick.
Hey, Jason, I know that, most conservatives kind of dig your style. There's a few that don't. I noticed a couple weeks back, Fox News host Bob Beckel, he basically called you a punk and a coward and kind of challenged you to a knife fight. What happened with that? Yeah.
Because he's an idiot.
That's mature.
We need journalists like him, like Jason Mattera, all over, so we can discover all these politicians. Somebody who criticizes him, that person's really an idiot.
But Dr. Bonati, I want to hear Jason talk about what Beckel said.
Yeah, how did you respond to that?
Well, he issued a challenge that he would meet me anytime, any place. Those were his words. So I immediately accepted the challenge and said I would meet him on the 5 and let's have a national debate on the merits of, it was in this case my video with Lois Lerner that got him to lose it on air and call me all types of names. But once I accepted the challenge and said, hey, yeah, let's debate it. Let's have a live national debate. Radio silence. My publicist even reached out to the producers at the 5, nothing. Now there's an organization in D.C. who has formally invited Bob Beckel to debate me. Again, I'm giving him a second opportunity, nothing. So
I know what it was.
Apparently the guy is just, all suspenders and no pants. He doesn't,
but Jason, I know what it was.
He doesn't want to take me up on the challenge that he himself issued.
No, you forgot to bring your knife. That's what it was.
Right. But I mean, it's so insane. And, the thing is, he lost it and called me lousy, un-American, a punk, for trying to get comments from Lois Lerner. Lois Lerner, who used the most feared agency in America to terrorize Americans based upon their political beliefs. And apparently, I'm the one who's un-American, and I'm the one who's lousy, trying to confront a corrupt bureaucrat who is now enjoying a 6-figure pension courtesy of the very same taxpayers that she terrorized.
Wow.
I would have to say, in a match between the two of you, I'm thinking it would be you, because you could outsmart him with half your brain tied behind your back.
And he's younger. So, Jason, I want to ask you before, unfortunately, we don't even have you for that much time today, because we could talk to you all day about
we're going to bring you back several times,
Come on,
Jason.
I want to hear more.
We'll absolutely have you back. And we do have a couple of minutes left. Who's on your wish list? That's what I want to know. Kimberly said Obama. Who else is on your wish list of targets to ambush?
Oh, wow. I mean, I've gotten so many of these individuals. I've gotten Biden, Hillary. There's been Lois Lerner's to multiple congressmen and senators. I don't know. I don't necessarily. Obviously, Obama would be good, but I don't do it through a wish list. I do it through who is failing to get the right scrutiny from the media, and it can be a lonely, congressman people may have never heard of, but has really exploited and abused his position, or it can be someone like Harry Reid that is a household name and has really abused his position. So I do it, my targets based on who needs to have a spotlight shined on them, and where the media has failed to do its job in reporting on these corruption and abusive tactics on the part of our public servants.
Hey, man, we need you here in this race for the governor. You need to talk a little bit to Charlie Crist.
Yeah, right. Come on down here, Jason.
Yeah, right. I'll get some tanning tips from him too.
Jason, hey, did you ever get to the bottom of Harry Reid's wealth?
Yeah. Harry Reid actually has a chapter in Crapitalism, and he has, entered politics broke, is going to leave politics a multimillionaire while raising a very large family and living on a government paycheck most of his life. How does that happen? Well, coincidentally, big coincidence now, he's actually sponsored legislation for these big infrastructure projects that would help help the value of the land he owns. So in one case in particular, a bridge was built connecting a part of Nevada to a part of Arizona. It just so happens that on the Arizona side, he owned 160 acres, and his property value has since risen exponentially after the infrastructure project went through. He says, this is just a coincidence. I mean, it's purely coincidental that the legislation
very much a coincidence.
has benefited my portfolio.
Is it as coincidental as his residence at the Ritz-Carlton?
Well, that's another thing. Listen, I don't think we're opposed to people living at the Ritz, let's say, if they earn their wealth and making profit, if they're supplying a good and service people want. But what we have with Harry Reid is him using his status as a public servant to wield and deal to enrich himself and his family while he's claiming to look out for the little guy. And that's something that he needs to be called out on. So it's not that he lives at the Ritz per se. I want to know how he accumulated the wealth to live at the Ritz while claiming to be a public servant.
6.7 million.
Unreal. All right, Jason. Well, we are out of time again. I know Dr. Bonati could talk to you all day. We didn't even really get into your book that much, but it's called Crapitalism, Liberals Who Make Millions Swiping Your Tax Dollars. Definitely want to have you back on in the next couple of weeks. Jason Mattera, fearless, young conservative journalist, New York Times best-selling author. The
Keep up the
website.
good work.
Yeah, what is the website, by the way, Jason, if people want to see some of your stuff?
Yeah, website is crapitalismsucks.com. Crapitalismsucks.com.
I love it. Appreciate your time on American Medicine Today. Thanks, Jason.
You tell it like it is.
Look forward to coming back. Take care, guys.
All right, take care.
Take it easy.
Thanks.
Could literally talk to that guy for the whole show.
Exactly.
I love it.
Wow, I'm in awe by these people. Yes, please shine the light on these individuals because they certainly need it. You're listening to American Medicine Today, brought to you by the Bonati Spine Institute. If you or someone else you know is suffering with neck, back, or sciatic pain, reach out to the Bonati Spine Institute, 855-267-0483, or visit Bonati.com. Remember, Bonati succeeds where others fail. Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati Spine Procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati Spine Procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden. I can cook, and I'm really thrilled. The outcome's been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati Spine Procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati Spine Procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati Spine Procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Bermel.
Thank you for continuing to listen to American Medicine Today, brought to you by the Bonati Spine Institute. I'm Kimberly Bermel, here with Ethan Euchre, world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati. And joining us as well, we are excited, we have Dominic Malio. Am I finally pronouncing that properly, Doctor? And
I've been saying, Kimberly, Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes. Well, that's okay. But he's a certified psychotherapist, neo-traditionalist, and author of several books, including Invasion Within, Overcoming the Elitist Attack on Moral Values and the American Way.
I've been saying that we've been saying his name, you and I, like white people, like Maglio. Dr. Maglio.
Yes.
And I meet him in the green room, and I said, how do you say your name? And he's like, Maglio. I said, we've been saying it like white people all along. But glad to have you, Doc. How are you?
Thank you for having me.
And I know Dr. Bonati is eager to talk to you about Obamacare. You want to lead off, Doc?
Not really.
No. But first off, you and your wife head up Wider Horizons, a school in Spring Hill, and it's college preparatory, so pre-K, isn't it?
It starts at pre-K and goes all the way up to 12th grade.
Right.
We have dual enrollment as well.
And I think what you guys are doing there is phenomenal. And of course, we will get into that. But I personally have my daughter enrolled there and do so because it follows right in line with my personal beliefs as far as how we need to be raising our children and the educational system, which I think this administration has their hands in much too deeply. And I'm proud of a school like yours, the Montessori school, taking it upon themselves to promote ethics and morals and a great education. With that said, you write so many articles, Doctor. Why don't you tell us your take on Obamacare?
Obamacare to me is again a top-down approach. It's basically concerned mostly about controlling rather than allowing doctors and nurses to really get involved with the patient, and it's basically really a system that is going to not function as well as the past systems. It's destined to fail. But again, most people on the polls say they don't like it, but they're going to ram it down our throat unless we stand up, and we have to stand up.
Did you notice, Kimberly, in one of the doctor's recent articles, he talks about how Sarah Palin was ridiculed during the election back in 2008 when she famously talked about death panels and things like that. And your whole article was about how Sarah Palin was ripped to shreds by the media, and she's turned out to be, everything she said for the most part is correct.
It's mostly correct, exactly. But again, it's not just the Obamacare or the Obama administration. This goes back for years now, where the control of this country has been taken over by elitists, and they really do not want the American people to have a voice. And if we can stand up and have a voice, like you were saying, you have to say no. Of course you have to say no. I mean, if you don't say no, they're just going to continue to do this. And I was just coming down from up in Spring Hill, and the thing that really, I think, is the crux of this matter, it's not just Obamacare. We have Common Core. We have all sorts of things coming from the top down. But the thing, it's all about money now. And the man who said that was George W. Bush, and it just blew me away when I heard it on the TV being said by him. I said, that's it. That's really what it's all about for the elitists. It's all about their well-being rather than the country's well-being. And this is frightening because the people in charge don't really have a concern about morals. They don't have a concern about doing the right thing for people. I mean, I have one of my teacher's daughters is in a hospital right now, and everybody's doing a little piece, and nobody's coordinating the service. She was on a life and death type of watch, and luckily for her, she had somebody there that cared enough to go in and to help coordinate this and to cut out some of the shenanigans of not knowing what was, what the medication was. 10 different medications for her kidneys, 10 different ones, and that's absurd. But what I like to do is get back to this. Families, I deal with parents all day long. I deal with children. And one of the things that's amazing to me is they do not have time to know their own children. My wife and I and the teachers know these children better than the parents. And the reason is it's all about money. They're making money. They're trying to get ahead. As if you go back in time from basically the 50s was a real changing point in this country. They came back from the war. My father came back from the war, so many military people, their concerns was making a living, working their heads off, getting a good position so that they can have children that receive the things they never received.
Right.
What happened in the 60s was what they call the sexual cultural revolution, and there was nothing more than people that were self-centered little kids who wanted to now take over power because they thought they knew everything, and now they're in power. And they are blithering, incompetent morons. And what we have to do is kind of say, forget about your giveaway programs.
Yes.
We don't want them. What we want is basically to get back to where we have control over our own lives, and that means withdrawing from the media. If you watch the media, you're going to be contaminated. If you watch movies where there's nothing but, again, I'm not a prude, but where the message is the only thing is about yourself, it's so self-centered. Sex is number one, drugs is number two. It's all decadence, and they're selling it, we're buying it, and we're in big, big trouble as a country. I don't care if we get in another Ronald Reagan, and maybe, Ted Cruz is that person. I don't know, but I do know one thing. He's going to have a hell of a time, and they had the same problem with Reagan. Reagan was crucified the first 2 years of his administration. I remember thinking, sure, he said, I'm going to turn this country's spirit around. We are going to become a country. And lo and behold, in 8 years he did it, but he did it with a lot of people hammering on him at every single level. So what we need to do is grow up as a country. We cannot take something, and you were saying, Dr. Bonati, you take things not expecting that stuff is going to hit you in the face. Nobody gives you anything without a purpose. So what we have to do is make our own money, spend our own money, and not be seduced by lies, promises, hope, whatever you want to call it. This is getting to be absurd right now in this country.
Well, I cannot say it better. One of the things is what I admire in you is the fact that your books, your behavior, your education, the way that you carry yourself and teaching the students is type A. And that's the type of people that we need to promote, we need to help, we need to try to create people like you in this society. If you really, the things that you were saying before, when the Democrats talk about everything that the Democratic Party does is mediocrity, is controlling, creating individuals with low capacity of work, with low capacity of resistance of life problems, with low capacity of responsibility, with low capacity of learning. They create all these, and they always go and say, for the poor. No, it's not for the poor. It's for themselves, creating slaves, because slavery has two different types of slavery. The slavery that the black population has in this country was with shackles. So you can break the shackles, you can be strong, you can fight it. But when you create slavery on the mind, then you are doomed. You always will believe that you cannot perform, that you cannot do. Common Core in this country is a disaster. Is creating, lowering the standards of the intelligent kid to a mediocrity, to try to comply with individuals where they are mentally defectuous. They are with low IQs or low education or lack of language or whatever it is that cannot compete with the type of an IQ of an intelligent individual. They want to lower that level to the guy who barely can compete with life. So what happens is our intelligent kids are going to be destroyed, and they are going to be put in a position to be mediocres because they're going to learn to be mediocres.
It's already happening.
It's already happening.
Children are being classified as disabled, and we have 1 million diagnoses now. I've watched it from the beginning. They just keep on, every time a child has a problem, and they create the problem to start out with, they give them a label, they put them on the side, they are now, and parents don't understand this. Once you label a child, it's forever. And what happens is they are now seen as defective. And Maria Montessori helped defective children. The way she did it was to make them independent rather than dependent. And this is a system of making kids dependent on the state for information so they can be brainwashed. And there are going to be people that do very well in the system, and they are the elite children of rich people. So there's going to be upper class bureaucracy people, children who belong to the party, and just like in any other communist country, we're going to have the general poor people have no power whatsoever and have to do what they want. It is so obvious that this is happening. It's frightening that we haven't picked it up because it happened in front of our eyes in Cuba, and it happened, and Castro kept on saying for 2 years, no, I'm not a communist, I'm not a communist. Then he turns around and said, I'm a communist, by the way, and everything was out the window, and many people left Cuba at peril of their life. So this is a replay, and it has to be stopped. This election, I have one bone of contention. What you're saying is it's not just the Democratic Party. The Republican Party has been corrupted too. There's very few people, but if there's anybody that is honest, it's some of the people speaking are mostly coming from the Republican Party. I don't hear any voices in the Democratic Party, but they're so few and far between that we really have to speak up. And I was proudly one of the people was talking about speaking up before the Tea Party came along. I feel that the Tea Party was a spontaneous reaction to what's happening in this country, and it still exists. We'll see how well we vote. We'll see what we do, but I think we're getting educated, and I think we're going to make a change, but it's not going to be easy.
Yep. I agree that it's not going to be easy, but we need to start. The American individual is a very special individual. And what we are doing is we are taming this individual that is fearless, that is strong, to a mediocre individual who is going to be sitting in the house looking at television and feeling themselves that they cannot perform. So that type of an attitude is not in America. But the Democratic Party, and I know that the Republican Party, I'm not Republican, I am an individual who really feel that both parties are in a mistake. But if you put one and the other one, at least I can relate to the ideas the Democratic Party has, the Republican Party has. The Democratic Party is creating mediocrity and is creating individuals that they are not acceptable in my soul.
Right.
But everyone that just shows up gets a participation award.
Exactly.
So I love this conversation.
We could talk about
and
this all day long. But
we would
we're up
love to
against a
have
break.
you back, but unfortunately we have our next guest, but we would love to have you back in the studio at another time to further discuss, because these are issues that aren't going away. Your writings are timeless. This one book's from 2005, and it is absolutely as timely with information to what's going on right now.
And if people want more information, they can go to your website. It's Dr. Dominic Maglio. The website is drmaglio, maglio.com, correct?
Yes.
All right. Appreciate you joining us
Thank
on
you.
American
Thank you for
Medicine
being
Today.
here.
Appreciate it.
You're listening to American Medicine Today. Coming up after the break, we're going to hear what's new in American Medicine Today. Stay tuned. Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati Spine Procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati Spine Procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden. I can cook. And I'm really thrilled. The outcome's been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati Spine Procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati Spine Procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati Spine Procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Bermel.
Thanks for tuning in to American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Bermel, joined by Ethan Euchre, Jeff Wagstaff, and world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati. And?
Well, what's new?
He's trying to do his own sounder.
What's new? Hold on 1 second. Pot us back up, James. Ready?
Let's look at what's new in medicine today, featuring Alfred Bonati, MD.
It's all you now.
All you, Doc.
Well, let's see a little bit more lies about Obama. The real cost of the Obamacare is all hidden, all negotiations underneath the table, all changes on the law without approval of the legislation. All this is just a tremendous amount of charade that is going to affect enormously the country.
Right.
One of the problems is, for example, today is going to cost the average family health care insurance. It's going to cost around $16,000 to $17,000 a year.
Wow.
And from that one is if you are insured by your company.
Right.
If you are insured by your company, it's going to cost you around $5,000 a year, and the rest is going to be paid by the company. If you're not, that insurance is going to cost your pocket. The next thing that happens is they lie not only in the amount of people that they are being accepted on these 8 million people that they claim that they are on the Obamacare. Well, around 20% of the people, they never pay the first bill of the insurance. Then there is a percentage that is around 30% of the people that they are under the care of the parents.
Right.
So they keep claiming all these type of reports in statistics that they are manufactured like every time the government do. Every time the government give you a statistic, the statisticians that they use are individuals that they slant the whole picture. They talk about that this is going to be affordable. Well, to be affordable needs to be, your insurance needs to cost you below 10% of your yearly income. So 10% is the maximum that you can pay.
And even that seems like a lot, if you ask me. 10% of your income.
That's a big part of the family budget.
Absolutely, for sure.
Well, if you but that's the top that you can pay without breaking your back.
Yes.
Well, below that number is affordable.
Right.
Well, Obamacare is around 20%.
Yeah.
So
it's all documented here.
Yeah, I don't understand how the country still is. I'm so irritated how the people allowed in every element of politics, the population, the middle class in the country is totally asleep. They don't react. Right. I'm probably an individual who gets irate very easy with this behavior, but if we don't start to be responsible, if we don't start to think seriously that these politicians are individuals, that they are corrupted,
right?
No matter what, they are corrupted, because it's too much power, too much lack of responsibility, and too much no accountability.
Well, they're just handing their lives over to the government instead of thinking about what's in their best interest.
Well, that's the people.
And they're just taking press releases and taking it as fact instead of doing the research on their own and seeing how it's truly going to be affecting them.
More than that, you need to probably go ahead and start to see no politician should be reelected. If we cannot put term limits like we said the last week, and I was totally depressed for the whole rest of the week.
But there are other people we're going to reach out to.
Well, we're going to reach other people, but we need to see. But it seems to be that these people already manufacture the cake on their behavior, of their behavior in their profits. So what happens is we cannot touch them, and if we cannot touch them, then we're losing the control of we the people. And if we lose the control of we the people, then we are in a type of a tyranny. We are not in a type of a democracy.
Right.
So we need to start to regain that thing with our hands. And one way to say is say no. Say no. Start to say, look, you are not going to do this. And start to look for small things. One of the small things, start to look for the people that you're electing in the counties, and start to see who's the person who is electing the counties, and be sure that it's not an individual who is without a job, without education, without anything, that's looking only for the fact that it's going to be in the government, he's going to make money, and is going to then start to grow up to different levels to become then a senator or a president. And then we have this type of a president like we have today, that has no experience on anything, is only an agitator who suddenly is in the government and got there because his way to promise lies. And the people just bought those lies.
Oh, yeah.
They certainly did.
Well, one thing that Jason Mattera says, a guest from earlier in the show, in his book Obama Zombies, is that basically this generation, I guess my generation and slightly younger, just bought hook, line, and sinker the marketing blitz that was the Obama campaign, didn't know anything about his politics, didn't know anything about the fact that he was an untested politician, and just
community organizer.
Bought into it, put him in office, and now look where we're at.
But you need to use common sense. And the common sense is very simple. Nothing comes in this world without work.
Right.
Okay, if you feel that something is going to come to your doorsteps because you are a slick person, then you're wrong. You need to work.
Now the thing.
Excuse me, you had a problem.
I was just deflated.
But Dr. Bonati is citing sources from NBC News as of October of this year, Forbes as of March of this year, and quite a few other sources. We have them here. So it's not just Dr. Bonati saying these things. You're listening to American Medicine Today on News Radio 970 WFLA. If you have a Twitter account, you can tweet at Dr. Bonati, hashtag AMT, or hashtag American Medicine Today. You can also reach out to the Bonati Spine Institute at 855-267-0483 or visit Bonati.com.
That's it. I can't believe it.
I know. You can catch us on TV and radio, so watch for your local listings, and we'll catch you next week. See you then. Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati Spine Procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati Spine Procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now, I can garden, I can cook, and I'm really thrilled. The outcome's been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati Spine Procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati Spine Procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.